Gentlemen and ladies, you are welcome to this, I may call it emergency press conference. This was precipitated by developments that occurred late yesterday, and of course it was this morning that people started hearing what transpired in Kano yesterday. So I'm going to read the text of the press conference I'm going to do here today. And we've captioned it, "Ignore PDP lies. Dr. Otti was not sacked by any court of law." The report being sponsored and widely circulated by the PDP and Abia state government, alleging that a Kano High Court has sacked the Abia Governor-Elect, Dr. Otti OFR, is baseless, unfounded, and misleading, and thus should be ignored. For the records, though the perpetrators targeted the Abia Governor-Elect and the people of Abia State for that legal coup, they were not courageous enough to confront him in the open. Hence, he was never joined in the suit, for fear that his eminently qualified lawyers would take the perpetrators to the cleaners. To put the record straight and reassure our teeming supporters and millions of Abians who are still celebrating the liberation of Abia, we wish to emphatically state as follows: that the Federal High Court in Kano did not issue any order on Abia Labour Party candidates, nor the Governor-Elect, Dr. Otti, because, unlike those who brought the suit to steal the Abia people's mandate, the court was conscious of its powers and careful not to fall into the booby trap set for it by the PDP and Abia state government. To that effect, the court specifically stated in clause 9 of the judgment, thus, the candidates that participated in the election in Abia State are not parties before this court, and as such, the court lacks the jurisdiction to make an order for the issuance of certificate of return to them. This has clearly answered the question of alleged sack of Dr. Otti. There was no order to that effect. The Federal High Court in Abia had entertained similar cases as pre-election matters involving some PDP candidates versus Labour Party candidates, and the matters were adjudicated up to the Supreme Court. In all the cases, Labour Party won at the Federal High Court, Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court, respectively. The case brought by the petitioners is a pre-election matter, and under Section 285, Sub 4A of the Electoral Act, the petitioners have no locus standi as they were not aspirants in LP. Section 285, Sub 9 requires that it must be filed within 14 days of the occurrence of the event. In other words, the suit should have been filed before the end of June last year. On the contrary, the suit was filed on May 11, 2023, and a week later, the very efficient judge delivered judgment. Efficient in parentheses. That is very important to be noted, that the suit was filed last week, filed on the 11th of May, and within 7 days, judgment was delivered. We've never heard that before. Like earlier stated, the Federal High Court in Kano does not have jurisdiction over Abia State. Therefore, it is impossible for any decision emanating from the court to have effect on Dr. Otti, who was not a party to the suit in Kano. It therefore exposes PDP's gullibility to have expected the court to make an order against Dr. Otti, an action that would have incurred the wrath of the Nigeria National Judicial Council, the NJC. For purposes of further elucidation, Dr. Otti became the governorship candidate of Labour Party on 9 June 2022. Then any pre-election litigation questioning his candidacy must have been commenced not later than 14 days from 9 June to 2022, meaning the case must have been filed not later than 23rd June 2022. Any case filed not later than 23rd June 2022 must be determined not later than 180 days from the date of filing. Again, assuming it was filed on the 23rd of June 2022, 180 days timeline terminated on the 20th of December 2022. Finally, we would like to assure Abians in particular, and Nigerians in general, that the nationally celebrated mandate given to Dr. Otti by the long-suffering Abia masses is safe and secure and can never be stolen by strange usurpers who are pained and frightened by the reality of their imminent exit from power in the next few days. In the next few days, Dr. Otti will be sworn in as governor to enable him commence the process of rebuilding and recovering our state that was destroyed and plundered by the PDP. So Abians are enjoined to ignore the fake reports claiming that he has been sacked by a Kano High Court. Of course, Abia is free, indeed. Signed, Ferdinand Ekoma, Special Advisor, Media and Publicity to Dr. Otti, the Abia Governor-Elect.